You ever notice how different everything feels at night? The world seems to settle into a slower rhythm, and somehow you can hear yourself again. During the day, you're moving from one thing to the next, talking, reacting, doing whatever needs to be done. Half of the time, you don't even realize you're playing a version of yourself that fits the moment. Then the sun goes down, and most of that quietly falls away. You begin noticing things that were there all along. The warm light from a lamp, the hum of the fridge, the distant sound of a car passing, the way the air somehow feels different. Small things suddenly seem worth paying attention to. Maybe that's because the night doesn't ask much from you. You don't need to be productive. You don't need to keep a conversation going. You don't need to feel like you're keeping up. For a little while, it's enough just to be. There's something comforting about that. When everything outside becomes a little quieter, you finally have room to catch up with yourself. Thoughts you brushed aside during the day drift back in, one after another. You realize you've been carrying things without noticing, a feeling you never quite named, a conversation that stayed with you longer than you expected, a moment you have your mind thinking about and never really finished yet. Maybe that's why people open up more at night. Conversations feel more genuine. Old memories seem closer. Even silence feels easier to sit with. You can stare at the ceiling without feeling like you should be somewhere else. You can simply let everything settle. The night never rushes you. It doesn't expect anything. It just waits. And in that waiting, you meet a version of yourself that doesn't always appear during the day. Not the one everyone else sees. Not the one trying to stay on schedule. Just the quieter version. The one that thinks in short sentences. The one that notices more than it says. The one that doesn't always need an explanation for how it feels. Maybe that's why nighttime feels so honest. It gives ordinary thoughts enough time to be heard. Sometimes that's when you finally admit you're tired or realize you've been pretending you're fine. Night doesn't solve your problems. It simply gives you enough distance to look at them differently. Sometimes that's enough. Enough to breathe, enough to untangle a thought that felt impossible a few hours earlier. Enough to understand yourself a little better. When the world grows quieter, the small truths become easier to hear. Not life-changing truths, just the little ones that were there all day, waiting for everything else to settle. Maybe that's all any of us really needs once in a while. A little stillness, a little perspective, a chance to feel like you've caught up with yourself. So, if you're listening to this now while the world outside is finally slowing down, stay here for a moment. Let today come to an end. Tomorrow will still be there. For now, enjoy the quiet and keep yourself company for a little while. This is Quiet Echoes. If you're new here, welcome. I'll see you in the next one.